Sometimes a Linux service stops responding and you're not sure what to do next. In this video, I'll show you the safe, simple way to restart a service without guessing or breaking anything. These commands affect only one service, not the whole system, and they are safe to practice. This applies to most modern Linux systems that use systemd. If you would like to follow along, there's a link below for a free trial of a node. Now let's go to the terminal. A service is a background program that runs continuously. Some well-known examples include Apache for web servers, Docker for containers, and cron for scheduled tasks. When a service misbehaves, restarting is often the safest first step. However, before we restart anything, we always want to check the current status. This tells us whether the service is running, stopped, or not present at all. And to do that, we simply run sudo systemctl status, and then the service name. I'm going to use Apache for this example. And then click enter. And in this situation, I'm getting the message that Apache could not be found. That's because Apache is not currently installed. It does not mean that something is broken. So if you're like me and you don't currently have Apache installed, you can stop here and install Apache. And I'm going to run through it really fast since that's not the main point of the video. And now that I've installed Apache, I'm going to clear the screen so we can see better. I'm going to go back up to my systemctl status command. And this time when I click enter, I'm going to see apache2.service. This is the HTTP server. It's going to say that it is active and running. So if I was to go to the web browser and go to the IP address for this server, I'll be greeted by an Apache web page. And this error is completely normal. Like it showed in the previous screen when we did status, it is a HTTP web server. So I'm going to click continue to HTTP site, and here's my default Apache 2 page. Restarting a service stops it cleanly and starts it again. This clears temporary issues without rebooting the server. And to restart a service, you simply use the command sudo systemctl restart, and then the service name. We're going to do Apache. And then hit enter. If it runs successfully, you should expect no output from the command. Systemctl is quiet when things do work, so no output usually means the command was successful. However, a true IT professional will always confirm this by going back and using the status command. And we see that it's only been up for 30 seconds, which means it did successfully restart. Restarting a service like Apache is really common after making any type of configuration changes or package updates on a web server. An IT professional, after restarting, will always verify that the service came back up. And we do that by running the sudo systemctl status and then the service name Apache 2 and hitting enter. And to check that it's successfully restarted, you would always go to the active line here and see how long it's been active. And this time right here lines up perfectly for when we just ran the restart command. The updated timestamp confirms the restart completed successfully. Now Apache supports reload, which applies configuration changes without fully stopping the service. This can help reduce disruption for active users on the web server. If reload doesn't work, restart is always a safe option. To reload the Apache service, you would use the command sudo systemctl reload Apache 2, enter. And again, no output is systemctl's way of saying that the command ran successfully. Now a reload tells Apache to reread its configuration without dropping the existing connection. So if we were to do sudo systemctl status Apache 2, hit enter, we will look at the active running time, and there has not been a disruption from running the reload command. So again, remember, if you restart a service, the running time will reset itself. If you just reload a service, it reloads the configuration file. So it doesn't actually stop the service. It just rereads the config file for that service. So there's three common mistakes that I make all the time and a lot of beginners make as well. The first one is forgetting to use sudo If you ever see a message about permission denied, then rerun the command with sudo in front of it. The second big mistake is using the wrong service name. On Debian and Ubuntu systems, Apache is usually called Apache 2. Service names must match exactly what systemd is expecting. And the third most common mistake that is often made is restarting without checking the status. As an IT professional, you should always check the status first. It provides context and it helps prevent any type of guesswork. So let's simulate a real-world scenario. All of a sudden, you have a website that is failing to load for users, and somebody puts in a ticket saying that they're not able to connect to your website. The first thing you're going to do as an IT professional is go to your server, and you would check the status of that service. And you do that by running sudo systemctl status apache 2. This tells me that the status is inactive or dead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart Apache 2. And I do that by running sudo systemctl restart Apache 2. And after restarting, even though no response is typically a sign of a successfully ran command, because I'm an IT professional, I'm going to check the status. And we check the status by doing sudo systemctl status Apache 2. And this confirms that Apache 2 is active and running, and it's been up 27 seconds, which is when I ran the restart command. And before I close the ticket, I will go to my web browser, and I will reload the page, confirming that I'm greeted by the web page that I'm expecting from this server. And in this case, I am, the Apache 2 default page. And this is a very standard low-risk troubleshooting pattern used daily by IT professionals. And if you want one small next step, you can view recent Apache logs. These are read-only, so you cannot break anything by viewing these logs. Simply run sudo journalctl-u, and the unit is Apache 2, --since, and in quotation marks, 10 minutes ago is when we restarted it, and hit enter. And these are going to be all the logs since we restarted it. So this helps us understand what Apache was doing before the restart. And if we look through these logs here, you can see where we reloaded the service, where I stopped the service, and then we restarted the service. Now go work through this a few times and it will feel natural. Checking status, restarting safely, and confirming the result are all core Linux skills. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.